Hello, welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be doing the weekly update of the camp from this week from Michigan, basically all things Michigan football. I know we talked about this last week, and I thought I would probably make it a weekly series, and here we are. So a lot of things happened last week. I think we'll start with some of the smaller news first, and we'll get to the bigger news at the end. On the talk of recruiting from last week, unfortunately, Michigan lost a player yesterday, Elias Rudolph. He is a 4-star edge. He's a 90 ranked, a 90.59 on the composite. He is the number 21 edge in the country and the 40th best prospect out of Florida. He's a 6'4", 205. Elias Rudolph from Deerfield Beach, Florida. Now, he doesn't actually live there, but he's from Ohio. He moved down there this year to work on his game and succeed at the next level. And it was at Michigan that he committed about early July, and now he flipped as of yesterday, the 12th. So best of luck to him down in Miami, but he's no longer a Michigan player. He's going to be committed to the University of Miami. So, hey, it's just another instance of Michigan not having enough money to get the guy. The easy way to say it is, I don't want this guy. He's a bag-chasing guy. If he wants to go to Miami instead of a really good edge university like Michigan, screw him. But again, if he could get paid to go down to Southern Florida and live in Miami for 4 years as a college kid, getting paid to do the sport you love, more power to him. Warmer weather, nicer looking people, I'm sure, up there. Don't have to deal with the cold up north, but hey, he gets to do his thing and it's his choice. So more power to him, and best of luck to Mr. Rudolph. As for the Michigan team, some positive news first. We heard that Donovan Edwards is going to be on the field with Corum this year. At least that's what they want. So I'd assume that they would start doing that, which is something I've been trying to talk about for a long time. If Donovan Edwards takes this leap forward, like he says, he wants to be the next Barry Sanders type guy, I think that he's going to have to obviously be on the field a bit more. He's technically speaking probably not the best back on the team, in just the fact that Corum's going to be the bell cow. He's more the finesse back and open space. I would say it's a thunder and lightning punch. You look at the Lions, you got David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I think if he gets a Jahmyr Gibbs type role where he's like specialized and he comes out of the backfield catching passes, running it in some certain situations, third and short's Corum, but like he's like a third and long sort of screen back type thing. Obviously, you have them both in the field. He can probably be a bit of a receiver, help out, or relatively speaking, to the elite level, we have all these other position groups, a lackluster receiver room. So he could, potentially help out there, kind of like Jahmyr Gibbs is going to for the Lions. So I think if he takes that type of role, it transforms his offense completely. Good luck to any linebacker, that has to guard him, or any quarter that tries to, make it so he can't catch the ball. It's good luck on you, man. We saw it a lot last year. He's able to catch balls out of the backfield and juke people like nobody's business, a little bit like Barry Sanders, like he likes to say. So, and then on for the main story, probably the thumbnail and the thing that's talked about most here. Jim Harbaugh had his suspension rejected. I guess that means his plea deal, I guess you could almost say. So obviously there's a lot of things that was happening. Harbaugh was eventually facing a 6-game, it was rumored. It got negotiated down to a 4-game. That was initially the thought. Now that is no longer the case. So Harbaugh is now, as of now, going to be a free man. They have to prove that he lied, which is basically and virtually impossible to do. And what we're going to see is, potentially an open court battle between the NCAA and Jim Harbaugh. That would be an absolute win for Michigan, and they lose for the NCAA, and a win for, honestly, every college football program alive, a win for college expansion, a win for the college football playoff, and a win for, eliminating the NCAA as a governing body. This could be the hill that they die on, which is crazy by me, but it's something that we could see, ends the NCAA and changes the course of history forever in college sports. So, they're really pushing for some suspension here. It looks like it's going to be in 2024. Now, there's two thoughts there with them pushing the suspension. Now, the rivals, like the Ohio States and the pessimistic Michigan fans, I don't blame you because, we've been beaten down for so long, that it's, the end of Jim Harbaugh. It's going to be his last year. If he gets suspended 4 to 6 games next year, he's just going to go to the NFL. It's not a big deal. And I understand where you're coming from completely, right? But I don't know if the NFL will take him back at this point. But again, he could, retire, go into a lofty position role, kind of eat the suspension or whatever. And we could see how it all turns out. Or, he makes next year his last year and he just eats the suspension and moves on. So, a lot of the thought is if Michigan does really well, obviously I think they're going to win the national championship this year, they're going to lose a lot of players and a lot of coaches, unfortunately. Like, Jesse Minter and Sherrone Moore are all but gone if we win the national championship, right? A lot of them had decent offers apparently out there, and they would obviously get a lot more offers because the coordinators from championship teams rarely stick around. Now, if Harbaugh has a suspension in 2024, this is the positive spin by me. If he's out the first 4, if he's out the first 6 games, if he's out the year, if he leaves, you have Schromm more ready to go. You have Minter to go. One of the two, you can figure out which one you want to be your head coach, but they're going to be ready to go. That was kind of one of the almost sneaky positives of the suspension. If it happened this year, was you're playing nobody. You're going to give Schromm more or Minter or whoever you wanted, honestly, to be the guy and get the reps as the coach. We're kind of seeing it with the Titans did it with the preseason the other day. They had Vrabel at the assistant coach run everything, and a lot of people are starting to do that. And you can do it to help your coaching tree, and it would help Michigan long term. You could turn the suspension into a positive thing, and not only is it going to be extra motivation to players, you'll prepare yourself for next year. I personally don't think Harbaugh, this is going to be his last year. I would not be surprised if it is. I would say if I'm him, he could be like, you know what? If they win a championship this year, I think he's gone. That's just me being honest. If it's close and we lose again in the playoff, he's probably going to be like, oh, God, I don't care. This is annoying, blah, 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 whatever. I don't want to deal with this. Like, imagine if you're just, your boss just keeps potentially trying to suspend you. And it's like, what are you doing, man? And not even your boss, like an outside company is like trying to suspend you. You'd be like, go away, dude, you're annoying. Or you could just leave and be like, fine, I don't want to deal with this. And again, that could be unfortunately what happens. I don't think it will, but again, this is just me spitballing. So we saw a lot, of fortunately negative recruiting news. We saw, great things about potentially our offense taking the next step. Everyone's looking really great in camp. Haven't heard anything negative, but, granted, it's state-controlled media, basically, and you're not really going to hear anything bad at a camp anyway, unless, unfortunately, Ohio State, but you hate to see it. And then, obviously, Harbaugh suspension news. This is a pretty fluid situation, I'd imagine, and basically what the consensus is as of now is he's going to have to serve some sort of suspension, if applicable, in 2024. So, as of now, Harbaugh is free. He did not have relations with that burger. He beat the allegations, beat the case, and free Harbaugh. Say it down in the comments below. But let me know what you think from the last week, what your take is on the suspension, if it's good or bad, the future of Michigan football. What do you think about this potential new offensive scheme with 2 running backs on the field? And what you think about losing another player, unfortunately, to Miami. Flipped the recruit. Instead of losing the recruit, we got it flipped away from us. So, the flip gives and the flip takes. That is the nature of flip season. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. Go Blue. Peace.